Today I'm presenting on the differences between self-esteem and self-efficacy. Real quickly, the Principles of Management textbook describes self-esteem as the degree to which a person has overall positive feelings about themselves, while self-efficacy is the belief that one can perform a specific task successfully. So first I'm going to go into self-esteem first. This is part of everyone's everyday life and then their assessment of themselves by positive or negative attitudes. And according to the International Journal of Contemporary Research and Review, these self-esteem feelings are going to be of being needed, accepted, capable, valued, and worthy. This can be important in the workplace because it has been related to higher job satisfaction, job performance, and increased creativity. For example, someone who with high self-esteem is going to feel positive about themselves, confident, and respect of themselves. In the workplace, this is going to increase an employee's willingness to respond to their leader, and while a leader with high self-esteem is going to take the necessary risks. Someone with low self-esteem is going to be on the opposite. They're going to self-doubt themselves and their self-worth. They will become unhappy, possibly develop depression or high anxiety. They might be aggressive or irritable. This in the workplace means that they're going to decrease in engagement activities. It's worth noting that there's something called inflated self-esteem that's going to be characterized by superiority, arrogance, entitlement, vanity, a need for acclaim. But scientificamerican.com says that there is a huge difference between self-esteem and narcissism. High self-esteem, they're going to have healthy levels, while someone who does not have these healthy levels is going to have more of a mental disorder called narcissism. There are 5 indicators to measure self-esteem. The first is feeling of security, and this is a person having confidence in their environment, that their environment is safe, reliable, trustworthy. The second is feeling of identity, and this is when a person feels like they are a unique individual from others. They're going to have their own characteristics, so interests, strengths, and weaknesses. Next is the feeling of belonging, and not just belonging to a group, but being accepted and valued by group members. This group doesn't have to be just at work. It can be friends, family, or any kind of group. The next is the feeling of competence, and this is when a person has confidence in their ability of themselves, even in times of failure. A person who doesn't have this strong feeling of competence, they're going to likely feel helpless. And lastly is the feeling of worth, and this is where a person feels if they are valuable. This feeling is greatly influenced by past experience. There is a scale, it's called the Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale, and this is a self-reported scale where someone answers 10 questions ranging from strongly agree to strongly disagree. I'm sure we've all taken a test like this. The questions are things like, I feel that I have a good number of qualities, or I feel that I don't have much to be proud of. Next, I'm going to go into self-efficacy, and psychologist Albert Bandura coined this term by defining it as a person's particular set of beliefs that determine how well one can execute a plan of action in prospective situations. This can be important in the workplace because people with higher efficacy are going to set higher goals for themselves and are going to be more committed. So someone with high self-efficacy is going to approach those difficult tasks, which means that they're going to have higher personal accomplishments. This is going to lead to improved employee performance. In contrast, someone with low self-efficacy is going to shy away from those tasks. They're going to have low aspirations, and they're going to give up quickly because they dwell on their weaknesses instead of trying to succeed. There are 4 indicators to measure self-efficacy. The first is mastery experiences, which is just past experiences, but this is the greatest influence on self-efficacy because these are the actual experiences that are evidence of whether someone can do whatever it takes to succeed. Second is the vicarious experience, and this is learning from experiences of others. Basically, someone tells themselves they can do it if someone else can do it. The third is verbal persuasion. This is when someone else convinces the person that they have the ability to achieve that they want. Then the person is directed by that advice and guidance. The other people can be bosses, colleagues, teachers, siblings, etc. And lastly, emotional and physiological states. This is going to influence self-efficacy by how a person feels emotionally, physically, or psychologically. An example would be if someone is struggling from depression, they might find it harder to have a healthy level of well-being. They can still build their self-efficacy, but it'll be much easier if they're feeling healthy. There's also a scale called the General Self-Efficacy Scale, which is very similar to the Rosenberg. You answer 8 questions, same as from strongly disagree to strongly agree. So in short, self-esteem and efficacy are related, but they're definitely different. For a short story, let's say there's a person who's terrible at soccer, but because they know they're terrible at soccer, they're going to have low self-efficacy regarding the sport, but their self-esteem is probably not affected because they don't see soccer as determining their self-worth. But on the flip side, let's say this person is very good at soccer, but they have a high standard for themselves, and they base their self-worth on this. That could still mean that their self-esteem is low. So in summary, self-esteem is one's own sense of self-worth, while self-efficacy is the perception of one's ability to reach a goal. It's important to have high levels of each to move forward, not only in the business world, but in our personal lives as well. And lastly, these are my references. Thank you for watching.